Next time you walk through a quiet forest, I want you to look down at the dirt. Because right beneath your boots, millions of invisible wires are pulsing with electrical signals, chemical warnings, and biological money. The trees around you aren't just standing there in silence. They are actively gossiping, they are trading, and in some terrifying cases, they are assassinating each other. We have been completely wrong about nature for centuries. Forests are not just collections of individual trees competing for sunlight. They are a single, massive interconnected superorganism. And the brain of this superorganism isn't made of wood. It's made of an ancient, alien intelligence that has been secretly running the world for hundreds of millions of years. Welcome to the Wood Wide Web. To understand this hidden world, you have to peel back the top layer of the forest floor. If you do, you won't just find dead leaves and soil. You will find a dense, pale, cobweb-like material called mycelium. These are fungal threads, and while they might look fragile, they are the biological equivalent of fiber optic cables. A single footstep in a healthy forest can cover over 300 miles of these microscopic wires. They wrap around, penetrate, and fuse with the roots of almost every single tree and plant in the forest, physically plugging them into a massive, underground broadband network. But why would a giant, powerful tree allow a fungus to hack directly into its root system? What is the catch? It all comes down to a brutal underground economy. Trees have a distinct advantage above ground. They have access to sunlight, which they use to manufacture sugar, but they are terrible at mining minerals like phosphorus and nitrogen from hard rocks. The fungus, living entirely in the pitch-black dirt, is a master chemist. It can dissolve solid rock with powerful acids to extract water and minerals, but it is starving for sugar, so they strike a deal. The tree pumps its precious carbon sugars down into its roots to feed the fungus. In exchange, the fungus acts as a massive external stomach, pumping water and essential nutrients back into the tree. It is a flawless, millions of years old trade agreement. But when scientists started mapping this network, they discovered something that completely shattered our understanding of biology. This fungal network wasn't just a localized two-way street between one tree and one mushroom. It was an entire global highway system connecting the whole forest. To test this, researchers took a completely healthy birch tree and injected it with a harmless radioactive carbon gas. They wanted to see exactly where the tree was sending its food. A few hours later, they took a Geiger counter and walked over to a neighboring Douglas fir tree. It was radioactive. The birch tree had literally wired its own food through the underground fungal internet to feed a completely different species of tree. The forest was actively redistributing wealth. They found out that giant, ancient trees, known as mother trees, act as massive network hubs. When saplings are growing in the deep shade and can't get enough sunlight to survive, the mother tree pumps her excess sugar into the fungal internet, routing it directly to the starving babies to keep them alive. These mother trees can even recognize the root systems of their own biological offspring, sending them extra nutrients and deliberately shrinking their own roots to make room for the kids. It sounds like a beautiful utopian society, right? A peaceful world of trees helping trees. But do not let the serene green canopy fool you, because just like our own human internet, the forest network has a very dark web. Where there is a system of trade, there will always be hackers, thieves, and cyber warfare. Take the phantom orchid. This bizarre plant doesn't have a single green leaf. It cannot photosynthesize at all. By the absolute laws of nature, it should starve to death in days. Instead, it is a biological hacker. It violently plugs its roots into the fungal network, bypasses the security, and actively drains nutrients from the surrounding trees without giving a single drop of anything back. It is a vampire, surviving entirely by stealing the forest's Wi-Fi. And then there are the serial killers. The black walnut tree is incredibly territorial. It hates competition, so instead of sharing food, it weaponizes the network. The black walnut produces a highly toxic chemical called juglone, and it pumps it directly into the fungal broadband. The fungus blindly carries this poison to the surrounding plants, silently suffocating the black walnut's neighbors, killing them off so the tree can claim the territory and water for itself. It is literal underground chemical warfare. But for the trees that aren't actively trying to murder each other, this network serves an even more critical purpose. It is an emergency broadcast system. Imagine a swarm of invasive leaf-eating beetles lands on a giant oak tree. The oak doesn't just sit there and accept its fate. It panics. The moment its leaves are bitten, the tree instantly shoots distress signals. chemical warnings, and rapid electrical impulses, down into its roots and straight into the fungal internet. Scientists have measured these electrical signals, and incredibly, they travel in spikes that look almost identical to the neurons firing in a human brain. Within minutes, the neighboring trees receive the terrifying message, "We are under attack." Long before the beetles even reach them, the surrounding trees instantly start pumping foul-tasting toxic tannins into their own leaves. The dying tree literally sacrifices its last bits of energy to send out a warning, saving the entire community from destruction. We have spent decades looking up at the stars, searching for advanced, intelligent life, completely blind to the fact that an incredibly complex sentient network has been running right beneath our feet. This underground system doesn't have a central brain, yet it makes calculated decisions, manages global resources, wages wars, and protects its young. It forces us to ask a deeply uncomfortable question about ourselves. If intelligence doesn't require a brain, then what exactly is intelligence? And more importantly, what happens when human logging companies come in and clear-cut the massive ancient mother trees? We aren't just cutting down wood, we are unplugging the main servers of the forest. Without the hub trees, the fungal internet collapses, the young saplings starve, and the communication goes totally dark. The forest loses its mind. The next time you walk through the woods, stop and listen. It might look completely still, but underneath you, a trillion frantic, desperate conversations are happening all at once. And if this hidden intelligence blew your mind, you are not going to believe what scientists just discovered hiding deep inside the ice of Antarctica.